Respected dear family members, my pranams to you. The Semitic religion tells you that God sits in the chair of a judge and God punishes the sinners. God supports the people who do good for Him. The God is the final authority to revenge the people, to kill the people, to protect the people, and so on. But remember that God concept is created in the mind of the people, and whether it is Quran or Bible or Vedas or Puranas or Mahabharata, these literature were written by human beings. Whether they are holy, spiritual or normal, these books were or are written by human beings. So the qualities attributed to the God, that attribution is done by human being. That is a logical, scientific and rational analysis. But now in Semitic religion, as I told you, the God sits in the chair of the judge for punishing the people, supporting the people, annihilating the people, killing the people, and encouraging the people, motivating the people, and so on. In Hindu concept, when you reach the higher position intellectually and wisdom wise, when you reach the higher position, you can see that God is the ultimate truth, fact and essence of everything, and that is one part Prapanja Purusha Chaitanya. But the punishment, encouragement, motivation and all other things are done by nature. Nature does the positives and negatives. The nature in Hindu Dharma we call it as Prakriti Devi, and ultimate truth Prapanja Purusha Chaitanyam. And why the nature does these positives and negatives? To keep the balance. According to science also, whenever the system in equilibrium is disturbed, the system will adjust itself in such a way that effect of the disturbance will be nullified. That is the role of the nature. Whenever the system in equilibrium is affected by the activity of an individual or a society or by some means, the nature will have to act upon that so that the equilibrium is maintained. So it is just like in human nature, you can see the Prime Minister does not do anything and he is sitting in the top signing the files or approving something, but the workers do the things. You know, Navy head will be there, Army head will be there, Air Force head will be there, but it is not the head of the Air Force who fight with the soldiers of the enemies. It's the people, I mean the Air Force soldiers fight it. The top remain as Sakshi and approval. As I told earlier days, the nature does the work Whereas the God, Sakshi Bhava Mayadhyakshena Prakriti. Just like in the meeting, the chairman sits there as though he controls everything, but the system movement will be taking place by the workers. Just like the soldiers, just like the workers, just like the clerks and peons and others do the work activity, nature does the activity. So nature gives the punishment, nature supports the people, whether you like it or not. Now another comparison for this, you can see an entirely different comparison. Electricity does not give you wind, whereas electricity, when passes through the fan, you will be getting the wind. Electricity does not give you heat, but electricity, when passes through the heater, we get the heat. Electricity does not give you any picture. Electricity, when passes through the television, we get the picture and the sound. And you see, when electricity is present in the telephone, we can talk to that side and we can get the message from that side. Electricity, in presence of electricity, computer works. Presence of electricity, when electricity is used, it will not be giving you light. But when electricity passes through the bulb, we will be getting the light. So bulb is like nature, electricity is like God. I am giving a comparison. Don't think that electricity is God. So heat is produced in the heater, it is just like nature, but electricity is the God. Sound is produced from the mic in presence of electricity. Electricity is the God. The mic set is just like nature. The fan is just like nature. Electricity is like God. And you can see petrol is present in the car and the machine moves the car. So machine is like nature, petrol is like God. If accident takes place when you drive the car, it is not the responsibility of the petrol for this accident. It is the vehicle and the driver which is responsible. So you can see every energy is equated with the God, and every tool can be equated for common man's understanding as the nature. The nature is the actor. Nature is the judge. Nature is the soldier. Nature implements all the punishment and support. Now you see, Saddam Hussein tortured thousands and thousands of youth whom he thought that worked against him. Saddam Hussein used to do worship of Allah 5 times a day. For Saddam Hussein, Quran is by heart. Saddam Hussein strictly followed Islamic rule, Islamic law, Islamic manifesto. So Allah is expected to be happy with Saddam. But you just see how many years he was in the prison, and he underwent himself terrible torture. Finally he was hanged. If Allah would have been happy with his 5 times worship, naturally Allah would have been protecting Saddam Hussein. But you see, nature punished him. Osama bin Laden was a hardcore Muslim and he did everything in the name of Allah, and he declared jihad, holy war, in the name of Allah. Still, what happened to him? Allah did not protect him. The nature punished him. You see, Gaddafi, 40 years he was president of Libya, and he was a staunch Muslim. Almost Quran was by heart for him. He did everything to please Allah. Under that situation, Allah would have been protecting him. It did not happen because Allah is not the judge. As told in Quran, Jehovah is not the judge, as told in Bible. Christians think Jehovah is the judge. It's a blunder. Muslims think Allah is the judge. It is another blunder. Hindus think the God is not the judge. Nature is the judge. That is why in Bhagavad Gita it is told, I am not comparing the religion. I am only comparing the viewpoint of the religious people. In Bhagavad Gita it is told, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever dharma, the real good things comes down, dwindles. When dharma gets degraded, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati, he Bharata, he Arjuna. So adharmasya utthanam takes place. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati Bharata, abhyutthanam adharmasya. Whenever adharma, negatives increases, when positive decreases and negative increases, whether it is Osama, whether it is Saddam Hussein, whether it is Veerappan, whether it is the terrorist of the Chambal forest, or whether it is the smugglers, whether it is the fake note distributors, or whether it is the smugglers of the gold, or for that matter any type of terrorist you take for that matter. Abhyutthanam adharmasya, adharma when it grows up, tadatmanam srajamyaham. Whatever is to be done by the nature, that will be done by the nature. Paritranaya sadhuna, for protecting the good workers, good doers, good people. Paritranaya sadhuna, for protecting the good people. So, yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam srajamyaham paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita. Vinashaya cha dushkrita. Whomsoever may be the person doing bad, whether it is even in the name of God, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrita. Dharma samsthapanarthaya. Dharma means the balanced state of the system. Dharayati iti dharma. Whatever is motivating you, whatever is appreciating you, whatever is enlightening you, whatever is elevating you, that is known as dharma. So dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. I will see that. I, Lord Krishna told in the name, I will see that whatever has to take place, it will be taking place. That is the role of the nature. So the nature does all positive and negative for keeping the balance. We can also say nature does the positives for erasing of the negatives and maintaining the positive. So we can also say, as a common man's viewpoint, nature is also the part of God. When nature is the part of the God, all parts of the God, nature is also God. When nature is the part of the God, all the parts of nature is also God. When I say I respect my mother, it means that I respect the whole mother. I will never say I respect the head of my mother. I respect the feet of my mother. I will never say. We have to say we respect our father, not the church father. We respect the mother. So we respect the nature as an integrated entity. So each part of the nature becomes the fact, the material for worshipping. The part of the nature is mountain. All the mountains we do worship, Hindus, because it's a part of nature. Nature is part of divinity and God. So we prayed Mahendro Malaya Sakhyo Devadatma Himalaya Devacha Vindhyacha Girischa Aravalistada. So we consider the mountains as the holy places. Rivers are, and not only that, the mountains should be protected. We consider rivers are holy because part of nature. Genge Chayamune Chaiva Godavari Shatadrudi Narmade Sindhu Kaveri Jilesmin Sannidhim Kuru. We consider earth as Mother Earth. I am Mata Pradvi Putroham Pradivya. Because earth is part of the nature. Protect the mountains because it is holy, part of nature. Protect the river, it is holy because part of nature. Protect the earth and the soil because it is part of nature. Nature is part of the God, ultimate God. And we worship the sun. Krishnen Rajasa Vartamano Nimechayan Amradam Martyam Ja Hiranyayena Savidaradena Devo Yadi Bhuvanani Pasyan Adityaya Namaha. Because the sun, S-U-N, is the part of nature, is the manifestation of the divine power. So we worship the sun, we worship the planets, and all the trees and forests are part of nature. So we worshipped the trees and plants. And we told protect the forest, protect the trees, and we associated many trees with the divine power. We said water is holy and said Varuna Devata. Ima Ava Shiva Sandhu Shubha Shuddhascha Nirmala Pavana Shitalascha Puda Suryasya Rashmi Bihi. Water is holy. Why it is holy? Because part of nature. That's why we worship water. That's why we worship air. Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ridam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmama Vadu Tadbhaktar Mavadu Avaduma avaduvaktaram. So air is holy because it is part of nature. So don't pollute the air, don't pollute the water, don't pollute the earth, don't pollute the mountain, don't pollute the river, don't destroy the forest, because these are all part of nature. The nature maintains the balance here, and that maintenance of the balance takes place as per the presence of the God. Just like electricity in the heater, electricity in the fan, electricity in the TV, electricity in the air conditioner, same electricity produces cooling effect in AC, same electricity produces heating effect in the heater. That electricity gives light in the bulb, that electricity cleans the water, air through exhaust fan. The same electricity gives you fresh air in the inlet fan. So nature maintains both good and bad. That is the difference between Hindu Dharma and Semitic religion. So here God is present in me as Jivatma. It is present in you as Jivatma. So Aham Brahmasmi Tat Brahma Tvamasi. I am the manifestation of the God. You are also manifestation of the God. And I was fortunate enough to become a scientist in CSIR. Some of others are unfortunate enough to become a smuggler. The God is, soul is present, Jivatma is present in him and also present in me. Why he became a smuggler, why I became like this? It is the nature of the body which made him the smuggler, which made me in another way. So the nature creates the positives and negatives in the individuals, in the system, so that balance is maintained. That is important. You know, if Allah or Jehovah is the supreme judge, then why the Satan got created? He could have annihilated the Satan. The Satan advised Eve for eating the apple of knowledge. If God would have been the supreme, he could have changed the mind of Adam and Eve. Why God failed in influencing Adam and Eve? Why Satan got the supreme hand in convincing Adam and Eve? If Allah and Jehovah are supreme and instructed Adam and Eve, don't eat the apple of knowledge. Simple. Why the God created apple of knowledge? He created the whole world, whole universe. He created Eve from the bone of a man, Adam. That much capacity was there for the so-called God. That God could have avoided creating the apple of knowledge. So you see, these are all stories, LKG level stories. One day he created light, next day he created water, next day he created animals in the water, next day he created a man. These are all 8th blunder. Nobody in the world can even think of that. All of a sudden man is coming, taking a bone and creating a woman and telling the woman that you should not eat that apple. And even God's own words, God's own creation, Adam and Eve disobeyed. And they could think rationally, logically because of the advice of the Satan. If Adam and Eve did not have followed the Satan, they would have been walking even today in the naked form. They could get the rational, logical thinking only because they ate the apple of knowledge. So God is not the supreme. If God would have been the supreme, He could have drawn a line and instructed Adam and Eve to walk through the line itself. So nature keeps the balance, and all the part of nature is divine for Hindus. So polluting air is papam, because air is the part of nature. Polluting river is papam, sin, because it is part of nature. Deforestation and removing the plants, sin, because part of nature. And the outcome of all this belief is that the whole earth and nature get protected by the viewpoint that divine power is present in everything. You can see Christians and Muslims exploited and annihilated everything in the nature for their benefit. And you can see in the Bible, Genesis 1st chapter 26th line, it is told, I brought all the birds, all the fishes, all the animals, all the plants under the human being, under the mankind, and told the men to utilize them. The first message of Jehovah to destroy the nature thus came out in the 26th and 27th line of the Old Testament of Bible. But here we say every plant is part of the family member of the human being, every animal, every fish. So cooperation, coexisting, collaboration, complementation take place in the nature. Contradiction, conflicting and confusion avoided as far as Hindu dharma is concerned. That is why Vedas are taken as the World Heritage by UNESCO. So this is the difference. Thinking that only my God is supreme, my book is supreme, my God's message is supreme, these are all eighth blunder. 7 wonder and 8th blunder. Just think about it. You will understand where Hindu dharma stands and where the Semitic religion stands. Because of the muscle power of the Semitic religion, it may be thriving, not because of the great message of the God, but because of the arrogant muscle power, money and wealth and political power and crookedness and cheating. That religion spread. But even that religion could not survive in America, England, Canada, European country, because they are not logical, rational and scientific. One God comes and tells, obey only me, don't follow others. That is an autocratic Saddam Hussein type of God. Think about it, whatever I am telling. But Indian Hindus, Indian Christians, Indian Muslims have the same blood. Now world over, including Muslims, are trying or venturing to accept the Hindu concept of nature, Hindu concept of God, millions of Hindu literature and thousands of Hindu gods. God concept is nature concept, thousands of nature concept, and also thousands of saints who contributed for the Hindu based knowledge. That is also good, that if you would have had only one book, there is no other alternative. If you have got only one God, if you do not like that God, you don't have another alternative. We have got another alternative. If you don't like Veda Vyasa, go to Vasishtha. If you don't like Vasishtha, go to Shankaracharya. If you don't like Shankaracharya, go to another, Kanva Maharshi. So many Maharshis are there, your choice. Just like in a wedding feast, If you don't like one curry, take another curry. So many curries are there. So always multifacial existence, many concepts are always better than one single concept, one single man, one single God. Thank you very much. My pranam.